Yo, what's going on, Council, and welcome back for another week of anime, everybody. This is Gurren Otaku Council episode 108. It is your host Ace and your host McMillian, and this week we got a lot to talk about for our very first episode of 2026, everybody. But of course, if you would like to join both me and my friend McMillian as we discuss all things anime and sometimes manga, then please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, as well as follow us on our social media so you can stay up to date on all things about the council, everybody. With all that being said, the council is now in session. Let the meeting begin. All right, everybody, welcome back. Hope everybody's doing super fantastic as always. How you doing, McMillian?
I'm doing good, my friend. Doing good, despite the world. I'm doing good.
That's what we like to hear, friend. That's what we like to hear. What we can do though, we can talk about some anime. Hopefully get our spirits back up here, distract us a little bit from what's going on in the world here. What's going on, everybody? It's 2026. Hope you guys are doing great. It's been a minute since you guys have heard our lovely voice. We are back from the winter break. Ready to kick the year off strong, everybody. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. We'll start us off with some council announcements and just going straight into it, everybody. So for our last reaction, everybody, we reacted to the My Hero final season, and then now, everybody, our reaction to the epilogue is out. It is one big fat episode, everybody. If you want to go check our reaction to the My Hero epilogue, it is out now live and well. You can go check that out. Let us know how we did. Moving on from there, also this season's reaction, everybody, drum roll please, is Fearing, everybody. Yes, Elf Supremacy has returned. We're going to be reacting to Fearing's Beyond Journey's End season 2.
Yep.
It will be this season's reaction, everybody. But also, as well, for the podcast, we're bringing back our weekly discussions, everybody. And so, for the winter season, for our weekly discussions, everybody, we're going to be talking about JJK season 3, as well as a new kid on the block sentenced to be a hero, everybody. With all that being said, I'm going to hand it off to McMillan, who's going to go over today's agenda. Then we're going to kick things off.
Yep. So starting off, we're going to be going over our watch list for this season, the winter 2026 season. Then we'll be hitting you guys with our weekly recommendation. Then going into our, we're going to be talking about the new kid, or like I guess I want to say the standout maybe of last season, Gachiakuta, his first season, and then leaving it all at the end with news for upcoming anime and general stuff within the anime sphere that you guys should be aware of.
All right, all right. Well, with all that being said, let's go ahead and straight into it, everybody, with our winter 2026 watch list, everybody. We're going to be starting, of course, as always, we're going to be starting off with our joint watch list in the beginning. And then we are going to be going into our individual watch lists, everybody. So, once again, starting off with the council's combined joint watch list, of course, none other, starting off with Fear and Beyond's Journey in Season 2. As we just mentioned, this will be this season's reaction. Can't wait for, Fearing and Gain to return. It's been a minute since we've seen them, so glad to have them back.
Yep.
Any thoughts, McMillian, for season 2?
Very interested to see where we go, because I know we're technically where we left off after the end of the mage exams. We are now going into shit gets real territory. So I am very interested to see.
What you mean it wasn't already real?
Well, they said like to go into I can't remember the name of the country or region.
Demon King territory, they got to basically cross the north. I can't remember what the name of the area, but that area they got to cross is in the middle of a war right now. So yeah, like you said, shit gets real.
It gets real territory. Because it wasn't real enough before. So I am interested to see what they get up to, because for instance, last season we really only got to see them. I mean, granted, it was a great like part, but we only got to see them fight like demons really for I want to say a span of 5 episodes maybe in last season. And so I'm interested to see if that will come into play the closer we get into the Demons Kings like territory. And as you said, there's a war going on, so will they be interjected into that somehow? Only time will tell.
Only time will tell. Yeah, I'm with you there. All right, moving on from there, everybody. Of course, once again, JJK season 3, the Cullen Game Part 1. We're not going to go into that because we'll get into the weekly discussion after the watch list here. Moving on from there, Fire Force season 3 Part 2, the finale, everybody. The first episode started off not necessarily a bang, but it was a good comeback. It was explaining a lot was going on in the world. There was a small little time skip between the last
The
episode
one,
and the current episode, which is crazy. But nonetheless, hey, It happened. Anything about Fire Force, the season 3 finale here you want to mention?
I'm interested to see where this is going to take us because I already know that the creator for Fire Force has another series supposed to be coming out that is supposed to be like um kind of wrapping up this story or like stories, I guess, because I heard somewhere this hasn't been confirmed that Soul Eater and Fire Force are connected.
Yeah.
Uh,
So what is
and
his third series gonna
it's
be
called Soul. It's
in
supposed to be
in
called
that
Soul
world too?
World. hmm
Soul World. Okay,
And
so
and
still
it's
in
supposed to
this
be like the
little
ending.
interconnected world.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like the ending to Fire Force and Soul Eater's whole thing. So I'm very
I
interested to
guess.
see how this series sets that up.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Unfortunately, that was one of the things. If you are an anime watcher, that you probably did get spoiled by. If you haven't been spoiled, we done mentioned this many times, but unfortunately, spoilers. Fire Force is confirmed to be a prequel to Soul Eater, so it is what it is. It's just gonna be interesting to see how that all leads up here in the end. But
hmm
anyways, moving on from there, everybody. Next on our joint watch list, we got My Hero Vigilante season 2. Once again, the final season just ended here. Um, Kind of odd that they got the season 2 of Vigilantes coming out after the main series just ended, but maybe we might get a special announcement
I mean,
on the author's next title because he is working on something. We just don't know
mhm.
what it is just yet. But yeah, anything you want to talk about?
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I guess for Vigilantes, it's season one did technically happen before My
Yes,
Hero's final season.
it
So
did.
I mean, it's just nothing you can do about, I guess, release schedule. Um, I am interested to see like what we discussed this. I think last time when Vigilantes was coming out, I am very interested to see where this series is gonna make its like claim because right now, not that it's bad, it's just very like a super like villain of the week type show. So I'm very interested to see what Vigilante's whole like what it's building up to, considering it's not it's not My Hero proper, so they can't do anything. As far as I know, they're not going to touch on the Demon King and all
Yeah.
the other shit that My Hero touched upon. So I'm very interested to see like if this season we'll get to see maybe like some hints of like what uh their main story or bad guy is going to be like.
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting to do a little side story on My Hero when you're ending the main series. So,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, what type of story are you going to tell us that's going to even make it remotely interesting? Right now, that we know what it all ends up being in the end, anyway. So, I'm with you there. What are you going to do to spice it up a bit?
Yeah.
All right, moving on from there, we got Sentenced to Be a Hero. Once again, the new kid on the block. We'll be discussing more in depth right here after the watch list, so I'm not going to go too deep into it. And then to round off our joint watch list here, everybody, is Hell's Paradise Season 2. And boy, oh boy, was that first episode a banger.
Yes. Yes. Unfortunately, I can't talk too much about this one because this is one of the ones I did read before it ever got announced. But
He is a
I will
knower.
say, I will say for the anime watchers, you guys are in for the treat. Already the first, like A said, first episode of the season, great. The shit that's coming, oh, that's gonna be so good.
Well, I can't wait to see it because definitely Hell's Paradise was one of my more favorite entries here in the, I guess, the new gen verse, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
The new gen verse of anime. So definitely excited for season 2 here. And I'm gonna hand it off to McMillian and let him go over his personal watch list here that he got for
All right,
this
guys.
winter season.
As I said before, Fake Strange Fake is real. We are actually getting episodes now. It's not going to be, hopefully, it's not going to be one episode per year. Um, and I am glad to say, like, the start of it is picking up right where it left off before with that one episode we got last year. So we are moving, hitting the ground running. It looks good. Very interested to see where it goes from here. Next up, we have Trigun Stargaze. I do know the first episode for this is out by the time we're recording. Unfortunately, I have not gotten a chance to watch it, but if it's anything like Stampede, I have high hopes that it's going to be good. Next up is the Darwin Incident for me. This is a sci-fi anime about basically like these people doing human experiments, or well, not human experiments, but experiments on chimps, kind of referencing like Planet of the Apes. The first episode was kind of okay. I'm still have high hopes for the rest of the series because The manga for this series is considered very popular in Shonen Jump or whatever magazine it's printed in. So I'm assuming later on it evolves into something, you know, a lot more um major or interesting that has like a lot of like, you know, hidden machinations within it. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Okay.
Um on my this isn't on my for sure watch list yet. This is on my mate. I might check it out. It's my as Ace says, you gotta have an isekai for the season. My isekai for the season is something called Reincarnated as a Dragon Hatchling. Based on the description, it sounded interesting, but also it is kind of like reminiscent of all the great stuff: reincarnated slime, reincarnated wind machine, reincarnated sword. So not too, you know, I'm not expecting like Grammy or not Grammy, Oscar winning performances here, but I am, you know, it might be a good show to watch and turn your brain off to. And then I got two movies from this season. That time I got reincarnated as slime. Is getting a movie called Tears of the Azure Sea that's supposed to be coming out this month, and well, not this month, within this winter season.
Yeah.
And then All You Need Is Kill is getting an actual like animated film. For those that don't know, it technically got a live action adaptation in what was it? Live Die Repeat. If anyone remembers that movie with Tom Cruise, that movie was based off an manga called All You Need Is Kill, and that is finally getting its actual own like animated film. So I plan on going and watching that.
Nice. Nice. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you, McMillian, for that. I did not have I did not follow my run rule. I broke the cardinal sin. I did not pick an isekai for this season. I saw
Oh.
reincarnated as a dragon hatchling. You know, I looked at it, I read the synopsis, but something about it just didn't grab me and pull me in. But I still might have to end up checking it out anyway, so I don't break the cardinal rule here. But nonetheless, for my personal watch list, I got two here. So I got Jack of all trades, party of none. You know, this is one of your generic fantasies for the season. So this one follows the main character who was in the party of the heroes, and at one point he went from being a swordsman to a enchanter because he just flexing to help out the party, right? So they needed extra
Mm-hmm.
role. He was just filling in there for that role. But one day the party members decided they don't need him anymore, and they decided to get rid of him and replace him with another enchanter. So now we're gonna follow our main character here as he goes back to his main role of being a swordsman. But of course, not he because he was an enchanter, he has some extra flair,
Hmm.
almost dual skilling, if you will, or dual class, not
Okay.
dual skilling, dual classing, if you will, right? So, bringing some enchanting skills to his swordsman play and things of that nature. So, just following on with his story as well. For I don't know if he's gonna go for revenge just yet, but we'll see how it plays out.
All right.
Moving on from there, we got Shibo Yugi playing death games to put food on the table, and all I did was read the description for this on Mall, and then I watched the very first episode, and I say we might have a hidden banger on our hands with this one, everybody.
Oh.
We might have a hidden banger on our hands. Almost, almost a little Shadows House esque in a sense
Okay.
is what I'm getting. The type of vibes I'm getting from it, but more dark though. I would say.
Okay. Shadow's House with a little bit more darkness to it. Okay,
Yes, a
that sounds
little bit more
interesting.
dark. The first episode was a good one. It was an hour long. I didn't even realize it until I started it. We got about like 25 minutes into the episode, and I was like, "Wait a minute, how long is this episode?"
That's fair. That's fair. That's a good sign though. That's a good sign.
I'm like, "Wait a minute, what's going on?" But as the title does suggest, these are death games. People are dying, so be prepared for that as well.
Got it. Okay.
Be prepared for that. And then for my going to check out list here, I have Roll Over and Die, Scum of the Brave, Yori Shiden Samurai Troopers, and then this was the isekai that I did pick for the season though. Hell Mode, the hardcore gamer dominates in another world. I did check out the first episodes of Roll Over and Die and Scum of the Brave. I don't know if I'm gonna fully,
Continue.
yeah, continue to watch them out. I might let a couple of episodes build up from them too. Then come back and watch them to see how it goes. But as of right now, I guess I will say Roll Over and Die first episode was kind of strong, but it just overall really wasn't enough to pull me in just yet. So I guess I'm just really just wait for a couple of episodes to build and then go back from and watch it. But I will say the plot and like the premise of Roll Over and Die is really nice though. Like I do like the premise. That's what made me interested in the first place. So
Okay.
it does get brownie points for that. 100%.
All right. Nice. Nice.
But all right, so yes, that is my personal watch list, everybody, and that is the council's watch list, everybody. So let us know down below in the comments what you guys think. What are you going to be checking out for the winter season, everybody? With all that being said, we're going to be heading on to our weekly discussions. Starting us off with JJK season 3, everybody. And my oh my, is Mappa popping off? Let these folks go home.
I've been saying that for the longest. I was like, I hope they get to go to their families because the work they put in is crazy. Because that like just something I could pull out of like the first two episodes that Choso versus what is his name, uh one of the people from
The Zenin clan.
the clan, yeah, the Zenin clan, the guy who wants to be the head, but
Well, he technically is the new head.
well, I'm not yet. there's one there's one man standing in
I
his
mean,
way.
he is the new head. He just is just slight complications, right? So slight problems, but
Hit that little scene, hit the scene, him fighting Choso and Itadori, technically like 1v2 and then eventually 1v1 was so good.
yes,
Like I was just like, oh my goodness, this man has a problem. And but the way it was animated was so well, even though like he's supposed to be faster than everybody. The way they animated, I still was able to like keep up with his movements and stuff like that, which I thought was so good.
and I love how they did it because this, it's not the first time we've seen this curse technique because the previous clan basically
His
had the
dad had it.
same curse technique. So I love how they showed the same technique, but they switched up like how they displayed it to us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I love that. Also, I am wondering if anybody went and saw these first two episodes in theaters because they did do a movie preview of these first two episodes back in
Yeah.
December, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely interested to see if anybody did end up going to see that. They also did the end of the second season too as well. So I believe they did the Mahoraga fight as well. But nonetheless,
Yeah.
yeah. If you,
I mean,
uh-huh.
I was just gonna say because of that, I am very glad they kind of started us off with the technically like the 2-part for like the beginning of the season. Because
Yes,
for people who went to go watch the movie, they don't have to watch 2 episodes they've already seen and then have to wait basically you have to wait 2 more weeks to get to an episode they haven't seen yet. They already everybody's caught up this first week.
let's
We
get
can
it.
move forward,
Yeah, we can move forward with us. Yeah, 100%. I will say before we go too far into this, after watching these first two episodes of JJK, you can definitely tell that Mappa took a page from animating Chainsaw Man and putting a little bit of that flair into JJK as well. Like,
Oh
because
yeah.
you can definitely see the influence of Chainsaw Man in season 3 early in JJK, which is nice. Don't get me wrong, but you can definitely see some of that animation influence right off the bat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. With the new blood technique, basically kind of shows that off. I want to
That
say.
and like the dismemberments of like the curse and stuff like that, like how
Oh
that
yeah.
one explosion of that curse was definitely reminds me a lot like of how like a devil explode in Chainsaw Man, for
Mm-hmm.
example, right? So, um, that but yeah, it was nice though. But yeah, no, hats off to you guys. But nonetheless though, but as far as the content of the first two episodes, I did not expect you to one step down on Yuji like this and then kill this man in the first
That
episode.
fast. Yeah, that fast. That was crazy.
I was like, whoa, first episode, right? He got him. Like, I knew they was gonna scrap, but I was like, dang, he just made one first episode. That's crazy.
I also like how they delivered on basically showing the fact that like Yuta is a special grade sorcerer to because like Yuji was fighting him, but every moment like Yuji was like, I need to pull out new shit just to try and keep up. And Yuta was just like, oh, I mean, you gave it a fair shot, but I just could have killed you at any point. Like,
Yeah. And then of course he's also double cheating because this man also got Rick on his side as well.
mm-hmm.
So he's abnormal, and then he got a freaking abnormal Shikigami walking around with him as well. It's just not a good day if you
It's
running
not.
across you. It's
It's
just
not.
not
He
a good
said,
day. And it's also cool as hell that he's basically, I guess, not necessarily on par with Gojo, but as far as curse energy goes, he has more curse energy
Walker's energy.
overall than Gojo. It's just that Gojo would never necessarily run out of curse energy because of his
Because
six
the 6
eyes,
eyes.
which
Yep.
is crazy. But Yeah, Utah's a beast. That man is crazy. That man is crazy. Like you said, I love how they played it. The fact that Yuta was actually sent there to help out Yuta. So it's like, okay, that kind of makes sense, right? You know, Yuta was in the background the whole time. Gojo had him in his back pocket, right? Like, hey, if anything happened to me, take care of your boy. All right,
Yep.
simple enough. All right, makes sense. All right, let's go. I'm definitely hella excited for the next episode because we're finally gonna get to meet Ting and Sama, the whatever mystical being that is holding the Jujutsu society together as of right now.
Yeah, basically.
Whatever they got going on. So definitely interested to see what this person got going on board and just, finally get to meet them, right? So that's cool.
Hmm.
And definitely can't wait for Maki to pop off this season. I heard that Maki does some crazy stuff in this season, so she's looking like she done came out of the bitter end over there. She's scarred up, but it's okay though. She gonna make it.
Yeah, no, yeah. I'm very interested to see how this will all play out with meeting basically like the King Yami of the Jujutsu world, and then like whatever Maki's upgrade is going to be moving forward. Because I have also heard basically that she
Heard
pop
through the
off.
grapevines. But yes, looks like we are as always. Look like we are in good hands for season 3 of JJK. The good the good hand throwing has commenced.
Hmm.
And we are in for another action packed season, as it should be, of course, as it should be, as it
Yeah.
should be. But all right, we'll be back next week for episode 3, everybody. Of course, hopefully we get some more. It looks like I guess as far as world building, right? We got some small world building stuff in the second episode, where it looks like we got our first peek at Yuji's parents in this episode as well. So that was cool, right?
Yeah, his
So we got
mom
to see
has the
that.
same scar that Geto or whoever is in Geto
Yeah,
had. So
that
now
guy,
we
which
know.
is already weird, right? Which makes me
Hmm.
think like, okay, did you do that before the mother got pregnant? Did you do that after she had the baby? What's going on here? How long have you been there?
Yeah.
And then second about why was it just a random person that you just wanted to hide in for a couple
Yeah, and also like what
regroup your strength or something? What's going on here?
yeah, it just really begs the question of like why was you was whatever plans going on, why was Yuji a part of this? Was that planned? Or because I mean I got questions now. Do you
We
just
got questions
become
that need answers.
just want to become a housewife for a little bit? Is that what happened? Like what's going on?
Questions that need answers, and then of course the overarching story, right? Our boy Sukuna got some plan for Megami, so definitely want to figure out what that is, and hope maybe keep him away from him as much as we can, right? So,
Hmm.
but that man gonna get out eventually, right? The question is just when. When is it gonna be this season? Is it gonna be the end of the season, right? When is it gonna be? Because we only need 5 more fingers at this point. When is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. So
The inevitable is gonna happen eventually. But all right,
hmm
moving on from there. Sentenced to be a hero, everybody, and I can we do a live check real quick? Who is animated? Who is producing this? Because
Oh,
that
it's no. So this is I don't remember the name of the. I should have wrote this down at the end of the episode. I don't remember the name of the studio, but you want to know what's crazy?
was taught to me.
Uh, the studio that did the animation for Sis to Be a Hero, but the only thing they've animated before or like that they're known for
Hmm.
is doing Masumume or Musamume, the Pretty Derby, the game
The horse girls thing.
yes, that is legit what they're known for. Before this is just animating their stuff, which that is insane to think
That we
about.
got the horse studio on the Sentenced to be a Hero. That's crazy.
Same studio that did
Okay,
this,
so
and they
from the guys who brought you Usameme
Mhm.
is producing Sentenced to be a Hero. All right, cool. Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy because I would not have thought that translated into this, but my goodness,
But yeah,
maybe
Mike said, my goodness.
maybe we give weirder studios
Yeah, so
raw animes.
so for those who don't know, so Sentenced to be a Hero follows it's a fantasy story where we follow the main character, and essentially in this world, being a hero is a bad thing, right? Being a hero is basically being
Mhm.
sentenced to death. because once you become a hero in this world, you're essentially a pawn for that world's government. You know, you get sent off to do various different missions here and there. And if you die, they can just revive you and, you know, put you into another body. Or even, you know, sometimes raise
No,
your
I
own
think it's the
body. It just
same.
depends on
It
how it
looks like,
goes. Well, you
yeah, I
know, in
thought
the
they were
episode, he
talking about the
mentioned that
same
they
body,
can
right?
stick your consciousness in another body as well.
Oh, okay. I must have.
Yeah.
I probably don't remember that, but yeah.
But though you do get power from being a hero, right? Cool, some cool upgrades or whatnot. The drawback is that if as each time you die, you lose a piece of yourself. So eventually, you just become a mindless husk. You know, at the that does the bidding of the government's will, right? So,
Hmm.
you know, bad thing.
Yeah.
And this first episode was amazing. So right now in this world, of course, there's also once again fantasy world, but they're also being invaded by a demon king as well. But not just a demon king, multiple demon kings.
Hmm.
So there's some type of plague that they're being that this world is being
Yeah, the
infested with.
fairy demon. It's either, well, it's called like demon blight,
Yeah,
but whatever. At first, I thought they are when they were talking about fairies in the episode, I thought that was a different type of race altogether, but apparently no, anything that gets infected with demon blight becomes a fairy,
I
which I
believe
was
so.
like,
Yeah.
that's interesting. That's, I've never heard that concept before, so that's cool off the bat.
Yeah, so we got the demon blight, and then the demon blight is basically being leaded slash being controlled by the multiple various demon lords. We don't know just yet if there's like a main demon lord at the top, or like a quote unquote demon king, if you will,
Hmm.
controlling all the demon lords. But as far as we know right now, the top of the food chain is the demon lords, and well, we do know there does seem to be varying strengths within the demon lords, right? So there is, like, you know, some demon lords are definitely stronger than the other demon
Hmm.
lords, but as far as like hierarchy go, demon lords are at the top. So I don't think necessarily one demon lord like can command another demon lord, for example, right? Even though
Yeah.
that they're stronger. But you know, they're all, I guess they probably wouldn't even fight each other because they're all a part of the demon blight. You know, their objective is to destroy the world, so why the hell we fight each other anyway?
Um, I mean,
But
bad
yeah.
guys do betray each other. It would be interesting to see, but right now, at least, yeah, we don't know if that's a possibility.
Yeah, and so we pick up with the first episode where we following the main characters who's helping out the knights in a region who's trying to fall back because the mission they was on went horribly wrong. So he's trying to help them retreat. One of the main characters, lackey, if you will, ends up stealing a freaking coffin. Why? Who knows? But he
Because
the
he's a kleptomaniac. That's basically it. He's
pretty much.
the yeah, like you kind of have your like the main character is kind of your typical like warrior kind of archetype, and then you have the other hero guy,
Who's
the
a
other person who
caster.
was the other who's a caster slash like a rogue, and he has kleptomania basically, and
And
he ends
so
up
yeah, there
taking a
you go. You
coffin,
keep
and
going.
it
Yeah.
he ends up taking a coffin. That coffin ends up having a weapon inside of it, um, called the goddess. And like, how, I guess, how spoiler do we want to be?
I mean, spoilers. I mean, we're gonna be talking about it every week, so spoilers, I mean, are bound because we're
Okay,
gonna be
well,
discussing them every week.
if you haven't watched the first episode, you might want to go watch it and then come back. But spoiler warning: the goddess or the weapon is a person. It is this girl who seems to be able to imbue people with magical abilities or
Yes.
some. It's not 100% clear. I think all that she does, but magic is abound basically within this child. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, it's
and
interesting. So it looks like each goddess does different things. The goddess
mhm,
that bound to our hero is the sword goddess, almost akin to what's his name from Fate, Gilgamesh, right? Almost akin to
yeah,
like Gilgamesh.
yeah,
That's
she
basically
basically
how her powers work.
yeah, she can summon a myriad of swords and just have them rain down on the battlefield, as Ace said, like Gilgamesh. I am very interested to see if that's all they can do, because that, I mean, while very impressive, sword nukes are great, but I'm very interested to see what else comes with like making a contract with the goddess, because they almost
Yeah.
like basically just from like that episode, it seemed like they can work in tandem with each other, but I didn't really see like the benefit, I guess, towards like the contract holder themselves, because like she was still the one primarily summoning weapons. Like it didn't seem like
Yeah,
he
it did.
had that ability.
Yeah, I'm with you there. As far as we could see, at least from this very first episode, the hero themselves didn't necessarily, like you said, get a boost from being connected
Mm-hmm.
to the goddess. Like once they made their pact, I guess the only boost you can say they got is the whatever magic the goddess themselves provide. But in this case, it's just her summoning swords. So
Swords. Again, great benefit. I just want to know, like, is that the only thing that they get? Because I'm assuming there's more. There has to be like more, but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
But
with you there. But then but long story short, before we'll get into some more stuff. But to round out the episode, as far as plot wise, right, and the reason why we're here overall for the main story, we discovered that the hero that we're following used to be a part of the main kingdom, right? But at during one mission, it went horribly wrong. Somebody framed him, and he had to end up killing the goddess that he was originally had a pact with, and that's because
mm-hmm.
if a goddess gets infected by the demon blight, then basically, that's bad because then the demon blight has access to unlimited power.
Mm-hmm.
So he had to end up killing his goddess that he had a pact with, which, and you can probably guess, which is a cardinal sin, right? Why would you, killing your own goddess, right? So
Yeah. So
letting
this
your
kingdom
goddess die
seems,
is probably bad enough, but you killing them your own self, oh yeah, no, you're out of there, buddy, right?
yeah. But like as they said, he was kind of like framed for it. It wasn't something he. It was something he needed to do. But like, if you got to the end of the episode and you obviously saw, they were like, "All right, yeah, likely story. You're gonna get murdered, and we're gonna
Yeah,
kill
because
you."
it was this whole thing where they were supposed to be, backup was supposed to arrive for them, and then the guy that was, the judge was basically quote unquote essentially was like, there was no backup. They were supposed to be coming your line. We read through
Mm-hmm.
all the notes for that mission. There was no, this mission is basically fake. Yada da this, yada that. So basically, he figured out like, oh, you guys framed me, right? So long story short, it's a revenge story, everybody. The guy is trying to find out who framed him. He's gonna get his revenge on whoever framed him for, having to end up killing his previous goddess, and all the men he lost as well. Let's not forget that. Not only he lost his
Mm-hmm.
entire platoon, and then he had to end up also killing his goddess as well that he had made a pact with. So he's out for revenge, everybody. He's out for revenge.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, so I'm very interested to see where this goes because if besides being a classic revenge story, it's also go. We also are in a fantasy middle of a fantasy war between demon lords and stuff. So besides just getting his get back, he also technically has to protect his homeland. So
Yes,
it's gonna be
unfortunately,
this is gonna be a very interesting dichotomy going
yes,
on
yes,
here. I think.
100%. I can already know that with this whole demon blight situation, that there's gonna be a goddess that eventually gets corrupted by the demon blight. That's gonna be a
Oh yeah,
whole motherfucking problem.
oh yeah, definitely. You don't bring that up and then not do anything with it, right?
Yeah.
So.
And also, yeah, another important thing about the demon blight with the goddess. So as of right now, they don't know that like is even a thing, like that goddesses can even be corrupted by the demon blight.
Oh
So
yeah,
this
they were
was
trying to keep that
basically
under wraps. Yep.
yeah, so this was basically our main character coming in and revealing that whole story that like, hey, this is a possibility, this is a thing. That's essentially why I had to end up killing the goddess, because if I didn't, she would have she would have been corrupted, right? Because we saw in the flashback that she was already in the process of being corrupted, so he had to go ahead and put her out of there, unfortunately. But before I get too far, I do want to talk about the action in this series. Fantastic. And then, like McMillian said, you wouldn't expect that you would get this from the studio from Usumeme, but here the fuck we are. Here we are.
Yep.
Looks good. Looks like we
Ooh,
got a mix of classic 2D animation with some CGI here and there, but it's not bad though. It
yeah,
is
no, it
nice.
looks really good. Like the way they just supposed because the things that they make look like CG are the uh
The
the
demons,
fairies
the fairies,
that
yeah.
are infected by demon blight, which is just I think that's such a good idea to like make them look otherworldly as to use CGI. That's great.
So yeah, we got a mix of 2D and CGI, and like I said, I know some people have their frictions with CGI here and there in anime, but in my opinion, if it's used well, it will do nothing but enhance the medium as a
Mm-hmm.
whole. And we have been seeing nice uses of CGI here and there especially throughout this past year, I believe the implementation of it, like just across the industry as a whole, has gotten a lot better.
Yeah, I would agree. I would definitely agree. All right.
Is there anything in particular you want to touch upon this first episode before we head on out?
No, I think we hit up everything I would bring up, so I think we can move along.
Yeah, but all right. Once again, Send Us to Be a Hero. Looks like a great action show that's gonna be going on. Once again, another classic revenge story as well, with a couple of deeper plots here and there that will hopefully get fleshed upon and expanded as we go. But nonetheless, looks like it's gonna be a good ride though. So we'll be following along with this weekly. So stay tuned. With all that
Mm-hmm.
being said, everybody, we're gonna be going on from there, and we're gonna be giving out this week's weekly recommendation. Everybody, take it away, McMillian.
All right, so this one isn't an old one. It's one that technically that hopefully most of you have seen, but if you haven't, because of the fact that like a dark fantasy came out of nowhere and kind of like surprised everybody, I figured I'd recommend Clevitus, another dark fantasy that came out last year that definitely surprised. I feel like a whole bunch of people who watched it. Basically, Clevitus is about a lord of dark beasts, known as Clevitus, who reigns over wait, sorry, Clevitus reigns. Oh, yep, there we go. Who reigns over a specific area that they send heroes into. But after he ends up, he basically after these heroes come in and they think they got him, he ends up killing all of them. But he's also like, I wonder why the world of men is trying to get into this dark beast area. Like, what's going on with their whole kingdom? So he decides to bring back a hero and have her lead him around and teach him about the uh hero kingdom here, the human kingdom. But along the way they end up taking in and raising the last last king or descendant of this previous like royal family, who will eventually like become the leader and might be the last hope for the human race. So now all of them bound together go on a journey to figure out what the heck is going on within the human kingdom and how they could potentially avoid an all-out war with the other dark lords or dark beast lords. Currently has one season. It's about 12 episodes, both subbed and dubbed. The English dub actually really good. I highly recommend checking it out if you want to listen to the English dub. But it's all on Crunchyroll, and I would highly recommend checking it out. It is getting a second season, so as you know, this you won't be left on a cliffhanger with this one. So
I agree with that. I agree with that. Once again, everybody, thank you for that million. This week's weekly recommendation is Clevitus, a dark fantasy. Definitely go and check it out if you haven't. It is a good watch. I'm moving on from there, everybody. We're going to be going into our season one little mini review here of Gachiakuta, and I say mini review because we have a nowhere. Everybody, I do apologize. I can't control my podcast host over there. He is a nowhere of Gachiakuta, so we're going to be going to
and
a
this
small little mini retrospective for season one here. What you got to say for yourself over there, Nowhere?
I was just gonna say, look, as a knower, as a manga reader, as a dirty manga reader, I found out about this from chapter one, frame one. All right, I'm one of the reasons you guys have the anime. Do not come up to me.
Yeah. Well, everybody. Well, one, I want to start off by saying season one of Gachiakuta was a blast. I do want to say hats off to the author. I believe they did a fantastic job of creating a story that we haven't seen before. I love the
Mm-hmm.
world, like it's a new thing we haven't seen before, like new power systems, like the guy or gal, because I'm not sure who the author is.
It's a woman.
It's a
Kei
woman.
Arana.
Okay, there we go. So she made a whole world about trash beasts. Trash beasts, my guy. Like
Mm-hmm.
empowers and having powers based upon, you know, loving a item essentially, and then, turning that. But then that item can't be trash if it is in a sense, but it's just crazy. Like I love the world that she's created so far, and then the characters are definitely likable, and I love hands down so far my favorite aspect of the show. I love the black representation in the show, 100%. The black leader, the black receptionist. We got a black villain as well.
Yep,
I'm
a light
loving it.
skinned dreadhead crash out.
I'm
Light
loving
skin lock the head crusher.
it. I'm loving it. So once again, just hats off to the author because you made a fantastic world that I'm definitely intrigued in so far. So 100% with that.
Yep. I mean, I can only echo everything Ace has basically said. I don't want to. The anime from a manga reader's perspective, the anime adaptation has been phenomenal. I loved basically how they incorporated the graffiti art from the anime into, I mean, from the manga into anime. It looks striking. I loved when someone uses their vital instrument in the show. That is as striking on screen as it was on the page. It just, this is such like a beautiful series, and it does a great thing. And it's all about trash, people fighting trash, and it looks so good. It's antithesis of each other. It's just great.
Yeah, it's great. And then once again, this we were just speaking about CGI. This is another show example of a show having great use of CGI, right? Because I'm pretty sure the trash beasts are CGI, but they look
Yes.
so nice though.
Yes, and and just how I said with like Sins to Be a Hero, the way they use CGI is to show like these otherworldly beasts fighting against these like people with extraordinary gifts, but like the CGI, I think for the trash beasts just makes them stand out as like, oh, this is something that's not natural or shouldn't be natural, basically.
Yes. Yes. 100%. So season one, we go for for a wild ride here. We get introduced to our main character. Damn, what's this guy
Rudo.
name? Thank you. We get introduced to our main character Rudo. Who was who was a sphere, right? He was born in the sphere, which is, as far as we know, a kingdom in the sky, right? A kingdom in the
Mm-hmm.
sky that travels the world as well, because there's a below Earth. There's the main Earth, I'm assuming, and then we have the sphere, who that was this moving, floating kingdom that travels the freaking world. How does it move around the world? And Earth, we don't know quite
We
yet,
don't know yet.
but
Yep.
I'm pretty sure the Noahs might know. But it's a floating kingdom in the
No, I
sky.
no
No,
still
Noahs don't even know yet. Oh, okay,
we
that's one of the
still
only
don't
mysteries
know.
that still left. That's one of the only mysteries still remaining. Okay, so all right, so that's a good thing then. So a floating kingdom in the sky that we still don't know how the hell it's moving around the Earth just yet. But nonetheless, we got a civilization in the sky and a civilization on the ground. The people in the sky sometimes throw people to the ground. Why? For many different reasons, but one of the main reasons being criminals. And they decided that Bruto was a criminal, and they threw him to the ground because they thought he killed somebody. We'll get to that later. But nonetheless, Rudo hits the ground and he goes on a fantastic adventure, everybody. He runs into the good guys, we're assuming for right now, at least, called the cleaners. These are the guys
Mm-hmm.
on the ground going up around and fighting all the trash beasts, trying to keep the humans on the ground safe. And of course, we got the raiders, who are just a group of vital instrument users who want to cause some ruckus.
Essentially, yeah.
Who want to cause breakers. We don't know else too much about the Earth ground as well. We do know there's different civilizations and different settlements here and there across the ground. A couple of the ones we got introduced to was the artist city, a city of artists that
Mm-hmm.
does sometimes help out the raiders here, not the raiders, the
Cleaners.
cleaners. There we go. The cleaners in their expeditions here and there, things of that nature. They do have a relationship with the cleaners. We did see another settlement of, I don't want to call them samurai, but they're basically samurai.
Oh, the Hell Guard.
Yeah, the Hell Guard. They're
Yeah.
basically the ground policemen, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Which
They're
is
people.
cool.
They're normal people who get trained to kind of like keep peace, because the cleaners aren't necessarily. They're made to. They're an organization who was essentially made to fight trash beasts.
Yeah.
So them fighting, for instance, what happens in the middle of the series where they fight the Raiders, that's not an everyday occurrence for them. That is technically like out of the scope of their job. It just so happens because of Rudo and everything surrounding him that they have to go up. They butt heads now.
Yes, which is crazy. So definitely interested in see where the story with the Hell Guards go, and I also find it interesting that there's even the concept of like a police for like the ground, considering like just the state of everything that's going on down there. So it's cool that they have some sort of resemblance to even have like a police group even going on,
Mm-hmm.
which is interesting, right? So I want to see where more of that goes. Um, and as well as definitely ready to see, what other civilizations, not necessarily civilizations, what other groups we have out here that right there that's on the ground. Because once again, we only got introduced to two, well, technically three other groups so far. As far as the world go for the ground, once again being the Raiders, the artists, and then the Hell Guard. But yeah, I mean, as far as characters go, definitely the we got a nice set of different characters here with their own personalities. I'm trying to see who I think is a standout side character to me right now. I want to say, of course, the leader because right now there's just a lot of mystery going on in him right now. Nobody
Hmm.
knows, at least as far as we know, nobody knows what his vital instrument is or if he even has one. Right? We don't. Some of the members don't even know this guy has a vital instrument at
That's
this
pretty. Yeah,
point. So there's a lot of mystery surrounding the leader. Why did you create the cleaners? What's your objective here? Are you really just trying to keep the ground safe? What is your goal? Right? What are you doing? So, and we know, of course, just the main question: what is your power? So there's that. I mean, I guess as far as another interesting side character, standout character with me would be old girl. I can't remember her name right now, but the red hair with
oh,
these
Rio.
scissors. There we go, Rio with these scissors vital instrument. She's definitely interesting. Looked like she had a rough past, but oh boy, the leader, not the leader,
Engine.
Engine, there we go. Everybody got weird names in this anime. Engine definitely ended up finding her one day and took her on her wings. Looked like she used to have a rough life. Definitely, she also looked like maybe she was an assassin or some type of murder. We know she killed people before. At least we know that much
It's
because at
definitely
one
true.
point in the season she brings a gun to a vital
Well,
instrument fight.
I don't. I believe this is not a spoiler. If it is, I do apologize. But just so you know, Rio's last name is Reaper. So
Oh,
like,
I did not. I don't know if they mentioned that or not, but that's crazy. Rio the Reaper, everybody. That's wild.
yeah, the joke after she pulled out the special tool was Rio walk 'em down Reaper. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, so we do know she has at least killed somebody before because she once again also she made a statement during the season that she won't ever stain her scissors with blood again, right? So um that's why she uses
Mhm.
the gun and will eventually start using guns and things of nature. But nonetheless, anyway, she's crazy. She's crazy. the McMillion type, if you will, right
The Big Billy that's hilarious.
there.
That's so funny because I was about to say, one. Granted, I this my side characters I really like. I can't name unfortunately yet.
Because they ain't been revealed yet. I feel you. It's
Well, I
fair.
wouldn't say they haven't been revealed. It's just the reasons why I
Oh,
like
the
them.
reasons why. Okay, gotcha. I feel you. I
I
feel you.
have not happened yet. But I will say rarely is my favorite character the main character. For Gachiakuta, my favorite character is Rudo, just
Okay.
because he's acts different from I feel like from a lot of main characters. He's I mean usually a lot of main characters are clueless. Rudo is a bit clueless, but I like how his convictions are pretty good, but also too he's very deeply troubled. He
Oh
is
yeah.
A1 crash out. I mean, for good reason. Um, his life gets fucked up drastically bad in the first in like the beginning of the series, but like
Yes.
he is just so funny to me. His instincts are hilarious. Like the time of granted the guy was definitely trying to manipulate him, but like when he was first on the ground and that dude was trying to be his friend, he was like, stranger danger, I don't know you. like, like kick that dude. I was like, I love this ball of what a destructive energy or whatever he
Yeah.
is.
And
But like,
it's interesting you say that because when I first saw Bruto, one of the first things that came to my mind was how do people feel about Rudo compared to Asta, for example? Because not to say that they're the same, but as far as like the yelling or like the over energetic type, right? He's kind of
mhm.
along that spectrum as well. So I just wanted to see how other people was taken to him as well, because
It's
a lot of people didn't
yeah,
like Rudo, not Rudo, Asta at the beginning because
Asa.
like all the yelling and stuff like that. But Rudo kind of does the same thing. So I'm just interested to
Yeah,
see how people feel about that.
you know what's interesting? I didn't draw that line, but I do see what you're saying. I think maybe people, if any, I mean, I'm just gonna say like what I've seen amongst the community of Gachiakuta people, like they seem to like Rudo a bit more, only because like it's not his whole thing.
Yeah.
And while he does like have outbursts, it's usually like I won't say well timed, but it's more of like it kind of feels like it's just not his thing. It's like it kind of hits a situation. Like for instance, his reaction to candy. Like he's like, I have never had this before. And he gets real hype off of it. It is the funniest, and it's some of the funniest thing, the funniest shit to see that. So
Yeah. Yeah. Another thing I will say I like about Gachiakuta so far is just their facial expressions, similar to what was that, Mashal as well, because they did a great job with the facial expressions in that show. Beautiful, beautiful, hands
mhm.
down, loving it. Like you said, it definitely adds to the comedic moments that you do have in the show here and there. Like you said, prime example, him having the outburst with him having the sugar rush and things of that nature. It's just
Yeah.
crazy. But yeah, no, Gachiakuta season 1 was a great time. Um, the first season, once again, was great. Started off with Rudo. Once again, meeting the cleaners, having a whole bout between the Raiders and everything. We starting to see some of the resemblance of the idea of what Zoldite has going on. For whatever reason, he wants to reach
The sphere.
the sphere, probably because for whatever reason, not whatever reason, of course, rightly so, the grounders have a hatred of this people and the sphere, right? It's because they're dropping
Mhm.
all the trash onto the lower ground. Like the sphere is the reason the ground is so dirty, right? They're the reason why they
It's a
even
very
have trash beasts in the first place.
Yeah, it's a very what I really like about Gachiakuta, besides like the art and like the power system, is the way it kind of tells a story we've all heard before, like the lower class versus the upper class. And
Yeah.
legitimately, it's not even like a parallel. They are in the sky, and these
Yes.
people are like on the ground. Like it is such a clear like cut. Like we have to take out the people at the top, but like also it's also like the mystery surrounding the sphere. Like, how did the sphere become the sphere? Why are the
Yeah.
people? What caused that to be like a thing?
Because I'm pretty
What's
sure that
causing
at
the
one
stuff on the
point,
ground?
it took off. Like they started the whole thing with
Mm-hmm.
the sphere in the sky, right? So, like you said, what made us separate? What was the whole thing? Did they have to separate because maybe originally they messed up the Earth so bad that they had to go to the sky, right? Was that the case
Yeah.
before? No,
Could
or did the
could the reason, like you could also ask, could the reason the spheres in the sky, like does that have to do with like the power of givers? Like, could there be givers on the sphere that we
yeah?
just don't
That's
know
a good
about?
question.
Like,
Yeah,
there's so many layers to this, besides like even Rudo's like personal mystery going on with like the murder of his caretaker, which is kind of like the focus of like who did that. But like along the way, we're finding out we're finding about other givers in their groups. We're finding that the trash beast, like there's a whole connection here, and it's just crazy. I just really the mystery is just really, the story itself is just really well written.
yeah,
It's
hundred
honestly
percent,
insane.
100%. So yeah, our boy Rudo's trying to get back to the sphere as well as the Raiders because they want revenge, but Rudo wants revenge as well. So I love the dynamic they played with that as well. In Rudy's decision of
Oh
not
yeah,
just contemplating like joining the Raiders and things of that nature because he realized, yes, I do want to destroy the sphere like you do, but you're going about it like kind of a crazy way,
right.
right? Which is even crazy. Like, yes, we do have the same goal to destroy the sphere, but the way you're trying to do it is not the way I want to do it, though. Unfortunately, which is still odd. Like, death to the sphere. Why does it matter which way you get it done? But I guess if death to the sphere does include death to other innocent people at the same time, you don't necessarily want to go that route. But
Yeah, no, and it's just
it was just still an interesting time and moment and decision that
yeah, but
Rudo had to make though.
which I thought was a really good though, like moment, because it showed how much he kind of grew from being down on the ground and being with the cleaners. Because it
Yeah.
was like when he first got there, it was fuck everybody, and everybody and everything. And now he actually like takes the time to think about like, I mean, yes, I do like how he said with Zelda, I do want to get revenge on the sphere. I obviously don't like it, but the way we want to go about it, I can tell is completely different.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So there's that, and then there's this whole mystery with the Watchmen series, which is cool as hell so far. Which is a specific set of vital instruments that was created by one guy or one being at this point because we got
Mhm.
introduced to the being as well in this season, which I did not think they was going to show us at all
Yeah, we
in
were.
this
Yeah,
first season. But it's crazy. So in between the ground and the sphere, there's this. I can't remember the name of the area they called it. But anyways, in between that gray area lives the freaking Watchman. He's just there chilling, hanging out, doing God knows what. And he that being or guy, we don't know what if it started as a guy first and turned into an ultimate being or whatnot. But that being, as of right now, is the main reason for the Watchmen series, probably the main reason that Vital Instruments even exists, as far as we know. And it's just chilling in the space between the sphere and the ground, which is crazy. So I'm definitely interested in going to see what the hell that's just gonna do in the world in general in the future.
Mhm.
It's just chill. It's just chilling there.
Yeah. A lot of people in the community were wondering where this first season was going to end, and man, the stuff that's coming is crazy. But a
It's
season, yeah,
gotta be crazy because
I loved how they set it up.
it's gotta be crazy. It's gotta be crazy because there's no telling. I had a lot of different theories because now we know that we had this Watchmen series. Zoldak was trying to create an entry into this Watchmen series. He failed, but now this technically means that it's possible. But if it's possible that anybody can make a Watchmen series, does that means these are just technically the true essence of what a vital instrument is? Like, for example, right? If anybody can just make an entry into the damn Watchmen series, right? For example,
I know that's the crazy part about it. We have no idea.
Why did the Watchmen decide to make the Watchmen series? Is it almost kind of like the seven Chaos Emeralds, right?
The theory,
You put this set of Watchmen series together, you gain ultimate power or some shit,
I mean, the
right?
theory is that they're connected to the sphere in some way, shape, or form, like almost like they're the guardsmen to get up, which is one of the reasons why Zoldyck was trying to make that trash beast that
That would
was
be
living
interesting theory.
off the
That would be
power
interesting theory,
of the
right?
Watchmen
Yeah,
series. Yeah.
because one their the gloves were on the sphere, right? Because old boy Rudo's caretaker had them, right? So that how did these get here? How did he have them? Has he been to the ground before, or has somebody from the ground made it up to the sphere before? What's going on with that? All right, that's interesting. Another thing, like you said, I do like that theory as well. Maybe if you collect all the pieces, maybe that helps you stay alive from the Watchmen, like as you're trying to pass the border, because maybe like just the raw energy from having all the pieces together just will keep you alive or something. Maybe because we did see that if you go in between that space, that the Watchmen will kill you if you enter in that area. So there's that. So that I do like that theory as well. That's interesting.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of avenues, a lot of avenues.
That is interesting. But as right now, Rudo has two pieces of the Watchmen series. He has almost boots and his gloves. Definitely interesting to see if he puts on the boots at one point, right? Because we
Hmm.
do know that from old boy Zodite was mentioned that he is going around collecting pieces of Watchmen entries. So I'm assuming that he's trying to put together a set or the set. We don't know, how many pieces are in the series. He didn't mention that at all. He just
Hmm.
said, there's multiple pieces. So I'm assuming there's probably a set, amount of pieces that
Yeah,
he can use
that's the
that he
assumption
said.
a lot of people have, is that there's a set or whatever. But yeah, like uh, we're in the dark on the amount. Everybody's in the dark on the amount of Watchmen series items.
So that's cool. Also, I love the way Rudy's powers was explained as well in this first season. So, essentially he has the powers to make any trash become a vital instrument that he chooses. And he can choose up to three at a time, splitting his powers in between all three or forcing all of his powers into one for a boosted mode, which is cool. So that's dope as well. But definitely interested to see how his powers expand upon that as well. Things of that nature as well. Interested to see this is. I'm interested to see how the author does this because he essentially has to give Rudo a new weapon each time he fights. So that's going to be interesting just to see, all the different things he
I mean,
goes through.
I'll say this: they have not run out of items to give this for the
He said, "Hey, there's plenty of trash to go around. Don't worry."
I'm about to say, no, yeah, that's something you got to worry about.
Is this plenty of trash big dog down there? Don't worry about it. He got plenty of items to go through. But yeah, that's definitely one thing I'm interested to see, because of how Rudy's powers work, he has to go through multiple weapons each time he fights and things of that nature. So it's just gonna be interesting to see, all the different weapons stuff he has to fight. Or and it's also gonna be interesting to see if Rudo kind of like clinches onto like one particular item that he just finds over and over again. Things of that nature, like for example, just randomly throwing out there, like I don't know, but what if he just start liking cups for whatever reason that he just always carry cups on around him, some shit, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, definitely season one was great. Once again, loving the world that the author built so far with Gachiakuta. Definitely looking forward to season two. A lot of likable characters. Definitely looking for more of the world building. What other little groups that are out there on the ground, and what's going to be our next attempt at trying to get to the sphere, right? First attempt was creating a trash beast. What's going to be attempt number two? Are we going to are we going to try and create another trash beast again, but just stronger? Because technically it did kind of work. This was just prototype, right? So are we just gonna go from prototype to production here on this next trash beast? For Zoidido, is he gonna come with a second plan here? Who knows, right? So definitely interested to see what that's gonna be. And then it did look like that maybe one of the raiders was the guy that killed his dad, because I could have sworn they showed the guy who had the mask in this episode. Not in this episode, in the season. I could be tripping. We do know that the angel that almost saw was Zodite. We do know that much. But other than that, I can't remember if not we saw that guy in the mask in this season. I don't think we did. I might have to go back. But it was a great season though. Great season though. Ended off the season with a cliffhanger with Almo ended up unfortunately being captured by the Raiders. She's being held in some undisclosed location as of right now. I'm assuming, season two, we're definitely going to go get her back at one point or another. So definitely ready for the Almu Rescue arc, if you will. The Soul Society arc, if you will. Of Gachiakuta.
Oh, that's hilarious.
But all right. So yes, season one was great. As far as rating, I guess we got to go ahead and rate this. I will give season one of Gachiakuta a solid 8 out of 10. Fantastic start to the series here. Definitely, left me with many different questions that need some answers that hopefully get answered here as we go along through the series. But that's what you need. You need the mystery and the intrigue into the series, as well as your likable characters. Now they got many multiple likable characters in this show. Like Big Million said, some we haven't even met yet. Reasons that we haven't even seen yet. So definitely, we're good on that in that aspect of the show as well. So looks like we're in for a good time with Gachiakuta.
Yep. I can only echo the 8. I think this section of the story is very strong, and it, take my word for it, it gets better from here. So just strap in for season 2.
All right. Last topic of the day, everybody. It's time for GOC News, your weekly source for your favorite anime news, everybody. Let's get into it. So, start us off for news this week, everybody. Fortnite and Bleach are doing a collab. We're going to be getting some Fortnite skins. We're going to be getting some Bleach skins in Fortnite. More accurate, and they, if I'm not mistaken, they have already dropped. It's going to be Orihime, Ichigo, Chad, and our boy, what's his name? The last of the group. I can't think of his name right now.
Is it Renji? Or oh no, you said last of the group, so it's oh Jesus.
Yeah.
He's a main villain technically for this last season. How am I blanking on it? The Quincy,
the bow user. Yeah. I can't think of his name.
It starts
right
with
now.
I believe, but I can't.
It's okay. We're getting too old for this.
Or is it you? Uryu? Is that?
Ooh,
no.
There we go. Ooh, there we go. There we go. That's a real fan right there.
Jesus. Okay. All right.
So basically, yeah, it's basically just the crew, right? So Uryu, Ichigo, Orihime, and Chad. There's gonna be new skins coming to Fortnite. So if you're a Fortnite player, hey,
after that, we have Crunchyroll. Recently, they streamed a Kaguya-sama Love is War special, and ended with a new film announcement. The film announcement is causing a bit of controversy though among Love is War fans, because this movie is supposed to be covering 80 chapters of the manga, and supposedly going to be changing the ending from the source material. Even though this is causing controversy among fans, this is something that the author, the creator of the series, supposedly wanted. So I don't know if people got the Love Is War fans, if they got to go jump that mangaka in Japan or something. I don't know. I don't know, but they don't like what they're doing. So
I mean, well, you know, at least that's one aspect about having an animated version of your manga series, right? You know, maybe you did, you know, some stuff in the manga that you know while you was writing it that you didn't like, you can technically change it into anime, right? So I mean, hey,
I mean, yes, but also from what I've heard, I don't read Love Is War. I actually watch it. From what people have said who've read it, they said the ending is pretty good. That should not be touched.
Oh, well, I don't know then. I don't know.
Rare.
I don't know.
I'm just saying that's a very rare thing to get your audience to agree that an ending is good. and then you want to change it? That's crazy.
That is kind of crazy. Yeah, that's wild. That is wild. Going on from everybody, some interesting news here as well. I don't know why they're doing it, but for season 4 of that Reincarnated Slime, it's going to be breaking down into 5 different cores, with the first 2 airing back to back in April 2026. Everybody, is this next arc huge or something? Why are we doing 5 cores?
I'm very interested
for this
in
one
this
season.
As well. 15. This is supposed to supposedly span 15 months. With breaks. With breaks, it's supposedly going to be.
What is going on? Are we just doing multiple arcs within this one season? If so, why are we doing this season like this? Are these like small arcs or something that's just back to back or something? Like, what is going on that we need 5 cores for this one season?
Which is very interesting because I feel like last season of Slime was also was decently like big. It had a lot of like political stuff in it, so I'm very interested to see like what the hell is about to happen with this new season.
And then last but not least, for general news, everybody, we have a new mobile game announced for the Mushoku Tensei series, everybody. Which is called Mushoku
Tensei.
There you go.
Jobless Reincarnation, Chronicles of Echoes. It's supposed to be like another gacha game for your phone where you pull
gacha games, man.
where you pull reincarnation. Well, I mean not reincarnation. Yeah, jobless reincarnation characters, I guess. But yeah, for those who wanted it, it's here. So that so with that, it's the end of general news. Next up we have our news that's dedicated to announcing new series. World Trigger fans, rejoice, the anime is getting a reboot or like a remake, basically. There's a teaser video out, but basically the anime's reboot project is going to be covering a new adaptation of the original mangas from like the first chapter all the way up to the B Rank Wars arc. And for those who have watched World Trigger, as you know, like the first couple of seasons are animated, and they follow the series pretty well, but they're not as well animated as I want to say as that final season. The final season, you would think a whole new studio took over. It probably did, honestly, with how good the action looks. So the fact that we're getting a redo, and hopefully like this will go beyond what the anime already covered, I think this is going to be great. Like sounds like it's going to be a really fun project.
No, it sounds good. I remember you telling me about just World Trigger as a series a couple of months back, and that I should check it out. So it's interesting. It's cool to see that it's getting a reboot. So I might as well just wait for them to start this reboot up and check it out. Then.
Yeah, I was just about to say it's kind of also as exciting as like the One Piece Mappa project, right? Like it's kind of crazy.
Well, not Mappa Wit project, but yeah,
Wit. That's right. Mappa own everything. That's what I thought.
I feel I know they got their hands in everything, so it's hard to know when they don't get their hands in something.
But moving on, another new series that a lot of people are kind of excited for. Toshiaki Iwashiro's Siren manga is finally getting an anime. A lot of people might not recognize Siren. It was a manga that came out like in the early 2000s that a lot of people liked. It focused on characters with basically almost every character had like a psychic ability, and they were going up against these like they were fighting these entities in another world, and it was such an interesting like story. A lot of people wanted an anime for it back then, but we're finally getting it now. So look forward to, if you like sci-fi action type of series, this is going to be a good one.
Okay, Nice. Moving on from there, everybody. The Black Torch anime gets its first promotional video. Is out now. Go ahead and check it out. It is currently scheduled for a July 2026 premiere. Everybody. Black Torch McMillian is.
The people probably have seen it. It's it looks it to be a fantasy, like a modern day fantasy mixed with like ninja-esque type shows. It's this the main character has like black hair and he's dressed in like tactical gear, and he has like a mystical cat kind of like sidekick looking thing character. A lot of people who what's interesting about this series though is that this is an anime for a series that got canceled.
Interesting.
Yeah, it got canceled in Shonen Jump. It was decently popular, but Shonen Jump has a terrible like trial period for manga sometimes, like where it's either like you have to hit
you either boom or you out.
Success. Yeah, it's like you have to hit success like within the first 3 months or you go on basically. And Black Torch apparently didn't make the cut, but it did have like kind of a cult following, and a lot of people are surprised that it's getting an anime because, as I said, the manga got canceled. So everyone's really interested to see, is this going to be the first resurgence of a manga by anime, or
or we just continue the story in anime form.
Yeah. And then also, last but not least, but for new series, Yona of the Dawn is getting a sequel after years of being away. A lot of people who might not know, Yona of the Dawn is a very popular pirate anime with a female main character. A lot of people really enjoy it, like the first season, and it's finally returning. Unknown, we don't know exactly when. It got announced last year. So either people speculate that's coming back at the end of this year or potentially beginning of 2027. So be on the lookout for that.
Thank you for that, McMillian. And now to talk about some upcoming and future releases, everybody. Starting us off with season 2 of Togen Aniki was announced, everybody. This was a new anime that came out last season as well. I'm not gonna hold you guys. I don't know if I'm gonna be continuing with this one. It wasn't bad, but I just don't think it's necessarily for me. This might be one of those animes that's probably targeted to a little bit of the younger generation here, in my opinion.
I will say, like, personally, not to cut you off, I kind of agree. The reason for me is that this feels, as you said, targeted to a younger generation, but also like it just feels way too predictable. It doesn't feel like it's doing anything new.
Yeah, there you go. Like there's nothing unique about the series so far for me just yet. It's I guess other than like the power system, like that's really the only unique thing about the show for me so far.
Yeah, I was gonna say the world seems interesting, but it doesn't. I haven't got anything from the first season. I don't know if the second season might add more to it, but it doesn't. It's not grabbing me.
Nothing about the plot grabs you.
Yeah.
Nothing about the plot grabs you. Like I think it was 25 episodes in this first season. Nothing about this plot in this first season grabs you at all, and they're kind of doing the thing where. And that I hate in Demon Slayer, where after they kill the main villain, they go through their fucking whole life story. And you feel bad for them and shit.
But this one, but in this one, it feels even worse.
Yes, and I'm like, brother, these guys are like bottom of the barrel type villains, and you want me to feel bad for them? Like, no, like these guys are actively villains. Like, it's not like something bad happened to them and then they went down the wrong path. Like, no, they chose this path. Like, what are we talking about here? Why am I supposed to feel bad for this guy?
I would 100% agree. I would 100% agree with that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But on from there, season 2 of Undead Unluck was announced. Everybody's going to be having don't know if we got a release date for this one just yet.
Supposedly, I believe it's coming sometime this year, but it didn't get really. It didn't have a release window, unfortunately. But it got announced at the end of the Christmas special.
Yes, I haven't checked it out just yet. Me and McMillian are still debating if we're gonna do a reaction to the winter special. We haven't decided.
Or just yet. We're still mulling over either review or a reaction. So be on the lookout. Be on the lookout for that.
Yes, 100%. But of course, though, Black Clover fans, rise up because we're back this year, baby, 2026. We don't have an official release date just yet, but we are confirmed for this year. Studio Pair is going to be giving out some more information sometime during this year. Hopefully, this first quarter, we're going to have some more information on when we can exactly know when Black Clover is going to be coming back. But yes, it is going to be coming back this year with the Spade Kingdom arc, Invasion arc. So definitely get your popcorn ready, everybody.
Yes. After that, we have the Elusive Samurai got announced for its second season as well, coming in July of this year. So be on the lookout for that. If you enjoyed Elusive Samurai season 1, I know I didn't watch it initially when it was coming out, but I did go back and watch that season. It was a very interesting action-packed series, so I would say check it out if you have not.
100%.
We have Dr. Stone Science Future returning with its final part, the end of an era. I love Dr. Stone.
Yes.
And I'm so interested to see how we're going to wrap this crazy story up in April. Speaking of crazy stories, Mashal coming back as well with its third season, but it won't be coming back until 2027.
Boo.
So we get another year to wait.
Moving there, everybody, and this was an interesting one to me. The final season, and you heard this right, the final season of Kaiju number 8, everybody, has been confirmed to be in production. Don't know when it's going to be coming out. Probably going to be getting it sometime next year because we just got the confirmation this year. I would be surprised if we get this season this year. I'm not going to hold y'all, but
yeah, no, I would be too. As a person who read the series, that just happened. I just want everyone to know I was surprised how soon it got announced because when it got announced. See, basically, I think season 2 ended when the manga ended. So I was like, it's so interesting how fast that was a turnaround.
Yeah.
There is
and so apparently Kaiju, the manga ended abruptly-ish for Kaiju number 8, is what I've been hearing.
It was planned to end. It wasn't like canceled, but like, yes, I would say, in my humble opinion, I think they could have done a lot. I think there was more story to tell, but I will say this: if the author felt like they couldn't, if they personally felt like they couldn't do more with the story, right, like, and they wanted to end it there, by all means, end your series. I do think it's better to end a series with people wanting more than it is to end it with them being upset.
Because then maybe after the years go on, and if you dwell on it or something, maybe you can come out with a Kaiju.
You can always,
for example,
you can always come back with a sequel if that is the case. You could, so. But Kaiju number 8's final season is coming out. It is in production, so be on the lookout for that.
That it is. Yep. Moving on from there, everybody. Season 2 of From a Cold Country Bumpkin to a Master Swordsman has been announced. This was one of the new fantasies from this previous year. I watched it. It was a good watch in my opinion. I did enjoy it, so I'm definitely looking forward to season 2. It's going to be premiering in July 2026. Everybody, if you haven't yet checked it out, give it a try.
After that, for the Devil, I know this was a little bit of a controversial series because diehard video game fans didn't like it, but the people that did know about the video game enjoyed it. Devil May Cry's anime is coming back with a second season. It's supposed to come back on Netflix and on May 12th. So for those that did enjoy the series, it'll be back pretty soon. And for those that love to hate watch it, it's also back right there as well. And for other fans of this series, like they'll be happy to hear Saga of Tanya the Evil is finally getting its sequel, its second season, or its sequel anime coming in this year. We don't have a concrete time window, but we do know it's coming this year, so be on the lookout for that. And then for other isekai news, Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation shall be back in July.
Yes, season 3, everybody. Season 3. And then speaking of season 3, we got season 4 of Konosuba. Your God's blessing on this wonderful world. I don't know why I was about to say your blessing on this wonderful world. God's blessing on this wonderful world. No release date at this time. We just got a season 4 confirmation here for Konosuba. I haven't yet checked out season 3. But I do love Konosuba, so of course I will eventually get around to checking out season 3 here. But it's good to hear that season 4 has been announced.
And then just to wrap up some last stuff, we have 3 movies that have been confirmed for this year. Gundam Iron Blood Orphans Uder Hunt has a new trailer and a reveal that was coming out this month. with the 12th and the 13th having subtitled showings of the film, and on the 15th a special dub showing. So if check your local theaters, it probably is
this weekend
probably catch a showing. Yeah, you could probably catch a showing if you do, but if not, I'm pretty sure it'll start streaming maybe within like the month or so. So
look out for that. And then our next movie we hear is also slated for this weekend as well. Once again, we talked about this earlier, but the All You Need Is Kill anime movie is coming out this weekend, January 16th as well, everybody.
Yep. And then last but not least, Madoka Magica, though I'm going to mess this up, Walpurg Snacks Rising anime film is supposed to be coming out in February 2026, at least in Japan. For the Madoka Magica fans, be on the lookout for that. Potentially it'll either come to the West relatively soon, or it's streaming soon.
I'm not a big Madoka fan, but these trailers, my God.
Have you watched it?
My God. No, I haven't watched it. I tried to watch the first original series. I think I got like to episode 5 and I kind of like fell off. I think I'm gonna go back and finish it eventually though. But these trailers look freaking nuts for this movie.
I've been meaning to. That's supposed to be my I technically I didn't put it on my watch list, but like that's technically supposed to be my oldie for the season. If I can get around to it, like go back and watch, because I've been meaning to watch that series for a while. So.
And then also last for not least, but for news, because I forgot to add it to everybody. One Piece is currently on a 3-month break. Everybody will be back in April 2026 with the start of the Elbaf arc, as well as the April 2026 will be the start of a new production series for the One Piece anime. Everybody, it seems like we're kind of officially going seasonal here with the One Piece anime. Looks like we're gonna be taking our time, splitting it up into more cours per season. It looks like, at least from rumors so far, slated 26 episodes per year. I don't know how that's gonna really go out. In my opinion, 26 episodes for a One Piece arc seems hella small, in my humble opinion. But if it helps out with the pacing overall,
tell us how you really feel,
things of that nature, then by all means. I mean, hey, it's just listen, from getting multiple 50 plus episodes in a goddamn arc. You telling me we gonna tell our arc in 24 episodes all of a sudden now? It's kind of it's kind of a jarring to a weekly anime watch, a One Piece watcher. I mean, some people may say it's for the better, but at the same time, I just don't know. Like I said, if it does indeed,
with
uh-huh.
I was just gonna say that's supposedly why people are excited for the Wit series. It's supposed to trim some of that fat.
Yeah. I mean, hey, if it does indeed help out the pacing, for the even for the weekly, watches here, then by all means, then hey. But like I said, just for me, 26 episodes for a year just seems very, very small.
That's fair. Yeah, but that was everything we wanted to hit for news this week, and so I'm gonna go ahead and take us on out of here, unless you have anything else.
Nope, you're good to go, brother. Go ahead and take us on out here.
All right. As always, guys, appreciate you for watching this last listen. Thank you for coming to the first episode of 2026 for us. If you want to stay up to date on all things about the council, as always, follow us on our social media. That is at Gurren Otakus on Twitter and at Gurren Otaku Council everywhere else. If you're listening to this on our streaming, on the audio only / streaming episodes, please like the episode, leave a review. It really helps us out. You should be able to follow us on any of the podcast apps that you listen to your other podcasts from on. If you're watching this on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Let us know what you are thinking of the winter season so far, as well as if we missed anything on our watch list that you guys think we should check out. We'd love to hear it. But with all that being said, guys, hope you're enjoying the new year so far. This is Ace and Macmillan saying meeting adjourned. Peace out, everybody.